prices of goods and services reflect and determine all the costs involved for a society in providing those goods and services, summed up in the concept of opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of anything of value is what you must give up so that you can have it. Opportunity cost is critical both in individual decisions and for society as a whole. Reading Hazlitt, the centrality of opportunity cost isn't immediately evident. Hazlitt states his one lesson as, "The art of economics consists in looking not merely at the immediate, but at the longer effects of any act or policy. It consists in tracing the consequences of that policy not merely for one group, but for all groups." This isn't particularly helpful. It seems to say only that economists should do a thorough job. But on reading economics in one lesson, it becomes clear that Hazlitt, as an anti-government activist, wants to make a much stronger claim. When economics is done properly, Hazlitt argues, the answer is always to leave the market alone. So the one lesson may be restated as, once all the consequences of any act or policy are taken into account, the opportunity costs of government action to change economic outcomes always exceed the benefits. The simplicity of Hazlitt's argument is his great strength. By tying many complex issues to a single principle, Hazlitt is able to ignore secondary details and go straight to the heart of the case against government action. His answer in every case flows from his one lesson. Hazlitt's claim to teach economics in one lesson is similar in its appeal to other bestsellers like The Secret and The Rules. He provides a simple answer to problems that have puzzled humanity since the dawn of civilization. As with these other bestsellers, Hazlitt is offering a delusion of certainty. His one lesson contains important truths about the power of markets, but he ignores equally important truths about the limitations of the markets. So we need economics in two lessons. Two lessons are harder than one, and thinking in terms of two lessons comes at a cost. We can sustain neither the dogmatic certainty of one lesson economics nor the reflexive assumption that any economic problem can be solved by government action. In many cases, the right answer will remain elusive, involving a complex mixture of market forces and government policy. Nevertheless, the two lessons presented here provide a framework within which almost any problem in economic policy can usefully be considered. One lesson economics, of the kind propounded by Badlyor, had come under severe criticism from leading economists by the time Hazlitt rose to its defense. Decades before Hazlitt, economists such as Alfred Marshall and A.C. Pigou had developed the concept of externalities, that is, situations in which market prices don't fully reflect all the relevant opportunity costs. The classic example is that of air or water pollution generated by a factory. In the absence of specific government policies, the costs of pollution aren't borne by the owner of the factory or reflected in the prices of the goods the factory produces. To understand the problem, we need to go beyond individual opportunity costs and consider costs for society as a whole. We must modify the original definition, changes in capitals. The social opportunity cost of anything of value is what you and others must give up so that you can have it. Externalities are just one example of a large class of problems referred to by economists as market failures. In all these cases, prices differ from social opportunity costs. In some cases, but not all, the problems may be remedied by appropriately designed government policies. A typical intermediate course on microeconomic policy begins with a catalogue of market failures and goes on to examine arguments about the desirability or otherwise of possible policy responses. When I began writing this book, I envisaged it as a non-technical guide to microeconomic policy based on the concepts of